All right. Peace and love, everybody. Peace and love. Boy, I'm telling you, honey, the summer, these past few days, it has been so warm. This weather got high self-esteem, that's for sure. What's up, Flaw 7,
what's
honey?
going
How
on?
you doing, darling?
I've been in the house, actually, under the air condition. I work from home now, so when people say it's like, hey, 98 degrees outside, I don't know. Because I go to the gym 4 o'clock in the morning, before I beat the heat.
Right.
And,
Yeah, no, I was out. I went for a walk out. I was running errands for everybody all day today. Wednesdays is usually my self-reflection day. As I talked about in a couple of other podcast episodes back, you want to take the day that you're born on and, really use that day to permeate your energy, seed your vision, really do some self-reflection and some inner work on that day that you're born. And I was born on a Wednesday, many, many, many moons ago. And today I've just been the ground running. It seemed like it was elder care day today. Doing things for the elders in my family, in our family. So, but that's all good. I ain't complaining about that. But I was out in the heat, is what I'm saying. So that they didn't have to be.
right. Absolutely.
So yeah. Well, we happy. We can't complain. Next thing you know, we'll be complaining about how much
cold.
snow on the ground or how cold it is. So we should be thankful.
We didn't get snow
everything.
this past winter, did we?
No, this winter was mild. This winter was like, it was warmer. It was warm all winter.
We forgot about that because of COVID, but in the wintertime, we really didn't get a winter.
No, we didn't really get a winter. And the COVID actually technically didn't, storm like gangbusters till the spring, till March. That's when they started shutting everything down, saying, oh my goodness, this thing's out of control or whatever. So, but we give thanks. We have to give thanks for each day that we have and the blessing that we have, well, I have a few things I want to talk about this week. I trust everybody out in the digisphere is doing well and y'all are taking good care of yourselves. This is what I want to say. Just because they say you can go outside, that is not, you don't let your guard down. If you've been taking garlic and using natural remedies to keep your immunity bolstered, you need to ride that for the next 2 years. I'm telling you, don't let your guard down. Keep your immunity strong. Keep your health and vitality strong. Watch your diet. You don't want to really be engaging in things that are going to suppress your immunity. Because I know I saw on one CNN report that this particular strain of COVID or corona is metamorphosizing. So, and some people, instead of attacking their lungs, it attacks the digestive system on some people. But it's still, this coronavirus episode that we're having in this country, right? So don't let your guard down. Keep your immunity practices up very strong. The other thing I want to suggest also is, change out your toothbrush, people. If you have kept your toothbrush past 3 months or 2 months or however long, or if you just say, I ain't changed this toothbrush in a while, it's like old slippers. You just keep them around. Get rid of your toothbrush, get a new toothbrush. You should do that with regularity anyway, especially if you've been sick or had some kind of illness, because the germs and bacteria find a home between the bristles. And there's a possibility of reinfection and all of that. So change out your toothbrush and keep your immunity practices going. Take your garlic and your lemon, take your elderberry syrup, take your cilantro, do your juicing. Make sure you drink a lot of water. Make sure that you don't kiss nobody you don't know, because, and just keep your self-care practices in terms of your immunity going strong, right? Does that make sense to you, Flo?
Makes all the sense.
Yeah, because they'll say, oh, no, go outside, go run here, there, and everywhere, stay in groups of 25. But I'm going to tell you, honey, it was April, and we had, or the end of April, beginning of May, and we had like one burst of weather, nice weather. Black folks was outside. They was barbecuing. They had Henny all lined up.
Yeah, I remember that.
A dead straight middle of the coronavirus. And our community was like, what, Rona? Whatever. Come on here. Up in the club.
You know what I thought about that? When I saw that, I looked at and I saw that how many people don't have a place to live.
Yeah.
And to me, that's how I took it. It's just like when you're shacking with people and you're not happy there, because that's why people hang out. Like I see so many people sit in their cars all day.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. So you can watch TV on your phones or whatever you want to do, but you can just sit in your car all day. And then when it's bedtime, you go shower and go to bed. People just don't, they can't stand the people that they're there in the house with.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of that. And Corona going to bring out, the divorce court is going to be bulging to the seams, honey.
Yeah.
Because people are so tired of each other, I saw a post on Facebook, an acquaintance of mine. They're not really friends. I don't know them closely, but I know them from being in the, different circles, community circles and everything. And the brother put up a post saying, if he had his way, he would buy his own house and he don't care if he'd be single for the rest of his life. And then he just started putting comments like, the man's supposed to be the head of the house. And if this was my house, I would be the head. But since it's, I ain't never moving in with nobody else again.
Yeah. I've seen stories to where, because you have to work from home, one of the other spouses say, I really don't know this person.
Right.
You don't know your kids. You might have one spouse who's working to provide. And then when it's time for them to work from home, they're not used to being around kids all day.
Yeah. Especially if you have a spouse that's gone all the time.
Yeah.
Like, some of these comedians and actors and people who they have their home relationship, but it's it's a touchdown type of dynamic, but now they're like in the house with the person that they are in the, in a marriage with. And it's like, why are you in my house?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And to piggyback off of that, you're not even given the opportunity to settle in. For example, one thing, because I read some of these stories, and when the man, now he has to work from home after, having the office and late hours. When you're working from home, the wife just expects you to just take over or do some type of different duties in the house.
Right. Absolutely.
Because you can experience that. Like, people don't understand. I'm not saying that it's right or wrong, but I'm saying that people, because they see you in the house, they forget that you're working. But now you're fighting with your spouse because you're not spending time with your kids. Like, I'm still working, So even though I'm home, I'm still working. But
I'm home, but I'm not home to be in a social dynamic.
Just because you see me, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. That's right. Mm-hmm. So, how did the volume change? I put on a pair of headsets. I hope that's fine.
Yeah, it changed a bit, but it is.
Is it okay though?
Keep talking. I don't know if I like the other one better or this one. I don't know.
Okay, well, if y'all, this reality podcasting, so we making adjustments as we go. I might have to take these headphones off if the volume is not coming through clear enough. It
sounds good.
All right, great.
You can just tell it switch. That's all.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, people are finding out each other. And in some cases, it's a good thing. In some cases, it's a challenging thing. People are finding out each other. Just do your best to love on one another, because the last thing we need is further division and separation, especially amongst the African-American family dynamic. To me, that is a very, very important institution, be it a male, female household, or siblings, or parents and children. The family dynamic is everything, so, let's do our best to try to love on each other and, care for each other. Yeah. We had a lot of graduations this year. I was very excited about that, that so many of the young folk, it was their season to graduate, and some of the school districts did something, even if, only 2 people at a time could come to celebrate, the youth marching or walking, as they say.
Right.
But we had my great nephew, Jabri,
Yes.
graduate. We had my baby great nephew, Junior,
Yep.
graduate.
Mm-hmm. It's
move up.
Yeah. Besides all the crap going on in the world, it's been a very dope year, especially for me.
Yeah.
My 2 kids graduating, and I was able to be there.
Mm-hmm,
Yep.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I have my godchildren graduating. Ezekiel Kemet, he graduated, I think, from Hopewell High or somewhere, and he's going to Clark Atlanta. Woo, woo.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So that was awesome. He said, "Hello."
Just a little applause.
Oh, I'm like, when all those people get in the room? Yay! So yeah, that's what's up. Everybody listening out there, y'all keep nourishing on your youth. So I want to talk about tonight two dynamics. Let's start with the money, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have my course, Spirituality and Money, coming up. It's going to be a 6-week course that anybody in the digital world can go online. They can register for the course. 6 weeks. Each week there's a in-person, well, not in person now because we are, digitally, enforced. So we will have a digital component where we come on a Zoom or webcast platform, and all of us, everybody who has signed up for the course, will come together. Each week there's assignments and rituals and practices and, really information to help you shift the paradigm around money, using your spirituality and using, ancient spiritual traditions and techniques to help the person that signs up, to shift their perspective about wealth and money, and to increase the vibration. So that's spirituality and money. You'll have what we're going to do is update the link when the class drops. So you're listening to this, you'll listen to it at a time before the class drop or even after. You can, just check in the show notes to see, where that link is, and then you could sign up. It doesn't matter if it's, just after the class drops or 6 months after the class drop. You could take it at your leisure, right? And so that's a dope thing that my wellness coaching and training is doing under the teachings of Mama Yoga. Yay! Like I said, when this first, COVID thing, they shut everything down, I was reflecting, meditating, trying to, see how to move through this dynamic, because I lost all my school contracts, like all of them, so that was quite a large, substantial hit to my financial dynamics. And so I do what I did, I did rather what I do, what I know to do, which is go within, reflect, and see the way, because I know God and my ancestors are merciful, and there's got to be a way. There's always a way. So in reflecting, what came to my spirit was this phrase that I've now hashtagged: pivot to prosper. You have to pivot to prosper. You can't stay the same. Okay, you don't have no school contracts, right? What you gonna do? You're going to ball up in a corner. You're going to duck and hide. You're going to cry. You're going to, be defeated and moan and bitch and say it's this person and that person or this district or whatever, or the corona. What you going to do? Or you going to show up like your ancestors showed up in their greatness as best you can from where you stand, Samut, and you're going to pivot to prosper. So I've been working at putting the classes up online. I have inferior digital equipment. Like my laptop is 1,000,000 years old. I think you got to crank it to get it started. And, I have a tablet, but it's no keyboard. So it's like every time it's like fingers and whatever. It's just, I've been working with some equipment, but dang nabbit, I'm working with it. And, the course will be up very, very soon on the platform. And so we're pivoting to prosper. We are going online. We are online. Doing the IG lives and building community and networking and collaborating with like-minded, brothers and sisters out there that have a similar vision. We just got to work together, pivot to prosper. So I'm asking you, think about how this whole corona pandemic situation that has been thrust on not just us here in the United States, but thrust on people the world over. How have you had to pivot to prosper? How have you had to pivot to stay in the game? How have you had to reinvent what it is that you're offering to stay relevant, to keep the bag coming, to keep your family stable, fed, to manage your responsibilities the way you needed to manage them? How have you had to #pivot to prosper? You think about that and leave us some comments. Let us know. What'd you do? Did you take your brick and mortar business online and now you got an online store that's popping, that you're cranking out, that you're trying to get to blossom and bloom? Did you, did you go on some of these platforms and now you're teaching at VIP Kids or Go Kids or one of those? What have you done? Have you set up a dang on cafe in your backyard? That's our people, honey. That's what we will do. We will have a fried fish dinner, the rent party in a minute, honey. Mm-hmm. Corona or not. So how did you pivot to prosper? I want you to talk to me about that. Engage us about that. It's an interesting thing. And, especially people of African descent, we got that black dot, and it helps us to find, the way in which to get the cheese out of the maize. It helps us to find a way in which to do things. 3/4 of the Western world's inventions came from Black people, if not more. I'm being, trying to be conservative. 3/4 of the inventions throughout the Western world came from the captured African people who, were responsible for working in servitude to these people and said, listen, if I got to do this, we're going to find a way that I don't have to absolutely be dead at the end of the night. And so all kinds of useful and wonderful and in use today inventions were created by our people. And so pandemic comes and we find a way to work it out. How have you pivoted to prosper? Yeah. So y'all look for that spirituality and money class. Look for the link in the show notes. And of course, on my social media, once the class drops, we're going to be promoting that, because I have some concrete goals to reach by December 31st. And so myself and, my lovely small little team and I, we will be, just promoting it. So you'll be able to see it, right? Any questions there? Oh, we don't talk about these blessing looms. I ain't mad at nobody who want to do a blessing loom, but a blessing loom is not a Susu, right? Now, many people, Flaw, you there? Did I lose you?
Yeah, I'm here.
So
I'm here.
Quiet. Okay. All right. If you have any questions, just jump in, because you know me. I just get to talking and just get rolling with it. So, the blessing loom, right? So this is what happens when, piggybacking or continuing on with the pivot to prosper, when we get in a corner and things have to change and you got to figure out ways to have revenue coming in, all kinds of ideas come up because people are in a heightened receptive state. People are receptive to opportunities because the previous doors or windows have been closed. So all kinds of opportunities will surface, resurface, things go in a cyclical dynamic. And now there is, really a deluge of the blessing loom. Some people are calling it a Susu. Some people are calling it, a loving tree. Some people are calling it a money tree, a blessing loom, a wealth loom, all these different terms for it, right? But it usually consists of one person putting in a certain amount of money, $400, $500, $200, whatever. They're putting in a certain amount of money, and then they are responsible to bring two more people to the loom, and those two people have to put in those $500 as well. So that's three people on one petal, right? Like think of a loom, think of a flower, right? Three people there, and then somebody else brings another two, somebody else brings another two, and it makes like a web or a flower if you can envision it. And now once once all of the petals get full, somebody in the middle then gets the pot. And then the last person, the next person to go in the middle, they get moved to the middle, and then the process starts all over again until everybody that's on a petal of the flower or a section of the loom, they're supposed to get in the middle. And when they get in the middle, they get the pot of everybody's contribution. Right? Does that sound like it makes sense?
It does.
Right. So this is not a Susu, though. Right. And I have some objections to these blessing looms. I have participated in the past a few times. And some people have been successful and others have not. Right. A Susu is an age-old African and indigenous people partnership that help one another come up financially. A Susu is where a collective group of people, usually all of them know each other or familiar with each other in a way that there's a level of accountability. I'm talking about a Susu now, right? It could usually be 10 people from one family or 10 people from the same cultural community. Let's pick Jamaica. Right? That they all know each other. It's 10 people that came from the island. They all know each other. Their families know each other. So they say we're going to do, in Jamaica, they call it a partner hand. So they say we're going to do a partner hand. Usually, a trusted elder will hold the money. And for a certain amount of weeks, all 10 people, I'm just using round numbers, will go to that elder every week and give them the agreed upon contribution. So say the partner hand is $1,000 a week that you're going to come and you're going to give the elder. Usually it's a woman. You give the mother elder, the $1,000. 10 people do that. That's $10,000 every week. Every single week, somebody from that group gets that $10,000 pot. And everybody in that group is committed to depositing their $10,000 until each member of the partner hand gets their pot, their $10,000. If it's $100, that's $1,000 a week, right? You're keeping up with me with my math, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a partner hand. There's accountability, there's trust, there's commitment, and there is, a stakeholder perspective in seeing this person get their hand, get their payout. Now, one of the other chief differences with the blessing loom and the partner hand or the Susu, is the Susu, the money doesn't grow. It's kind of like a savings scheme or a savings dynamic. Whereas you might take you a year or 2 years to put away that $10,000, and you want to put a down payment on a home, or you need to get your roof fixed, or you need to buy some new appliances for your house or whatever, or you want to buy a rental property, you can do it in a matter of a short 5 weeks instead of 2 years or a year and a half in your 401k or whatever, because everybody is coming to make that deposit, and you just keep your commitment up until that deposit is till all the hands have been paid out, but you've gotten your pot already. That's the difference. In a blessing loom, the promise is that you put in 500 and you'll get back 4,000, I think, is the going loom now. If you put in 500 in 28 days, 30 days, you're supposed to get a pot back to you. Your payout is supposed to be $4,000. But my concern with these blessing looms, and you all do your research, I'm not telling people what to do or that they shouldn't do it. I'm just saying, make sure you vet what it is you're giving your money to. Make sure you are good with it, right? So my concern is, who is holding the money? Who has gotten the payout? Why do I, if you bring 2 people in and they don't bring 2 more people in, does that cancel out your capacity to get the $4,000 payout? You see, the blessing loom requires that you bring somebody else with you. A Susu is a group that's already familiar with each other, and they are making the commitment with each other, right? It's like a family saving club or a family investment club in that way. So do your research. You might somebody hit me up for to ask me invited me to come to a blessing loom a couple of days ago, and I told them, I appreciate every opportunity. Please, oh my God, I'm so thankful, because people could not be calling you for nothing. So I'm thankful that people are looking. They said, oh, let me I would love to see her get that $4,000. Now, not everybody's intentions is that altruistic, but I feel blessed when people invite me to ways that I could generate financial resources. So I told the person, call me when you get your $12,000, because the loom that they're in, the payout is $12,000. So I said, call me when you get your $12,000. When you get your payout, call me. It's ain't no thing. I'm interested. But I just want to make sure that the loom is doing what it's supposed to do. So, and if somebody objects to that, excuse me. If somebody objects to that, if they're like, oh, you don't want to be sick, I ain't trying to hear that. You going to put your money up or not? Wait a minute, hold it. This, we're not going to treat my money like that. I got more respect for my duckers than that now. You be talking about, am I going to put my money up or not? Yeah, no, this is not a dynamic I'm going to be investing in with this type of attitude,
Right.
So, and like I said, nobody has said that to me, but if the person's perspective is like that, then that should be all kind of red flags. You want to just slow walk that, so do your, vet it, make sure that it's actually doing what it's doing. See if you can find out who is holding the money, how you're supposed to get the payout. If you have to give up all this information and you don't know the people and it's nebulous, these are things we need to be cautious of, just watch your step. But I'm all for, everybody doing whatever they can. We all have to get, hustle on and create value for people, and even, work a job. We just got to do what you got to do out here to make sure that you can keep, managing your obligations and inviting some luxury and loveliness into your life. And that requires money a lot of times. Not all the time, but a lot of times.
The idea is great. You just want to make sure that the people that the program is legit.
Yeah, you want to make sure. And in my experience, it's just my experience. Again, I can't say it enough, stress it enough. You vet your own dynamic. But in my experience, more people have been unsuccessful than have been successful, in my experience. Now, the dynamics, these looms that are coming down now, that could have changed. And I'm certainly waiting. If the person calls me and say, Samu Mama Yoga, here's my 12 grand and here's the money right here, I will get in their loan. I will definitely get in their loom and be looking for my 2 people to come share. But I need some concrete proof, not no nebulous, it's coming and I'm waiting for the payout and you're going to put your grand in and all that. Nope. I need to, it needs to be concrete. So that's my rant on that. Yep. So listen, I wanted to talk to you about this flaw because this podcast is more of an evening chat up than anything. The Jada Will August dynamic. That's what I wanted to talk with you about.
Yeah.
I think y'all did something. Y'all had a chat about it on the Podcast Brothers, right?
No, I did it on my own. I did it on the 700 Block podcast. I touched on it a bit.
Okay. Did you touch on it on Bars and Shots? Are you on that too?
Yeah, we touched on it on Bars and Shots as well.
Well, I haven't really talked to anybody about it, so I'm itching to talk about it a little bit. Huh?
I said, sure, we can talk about it.
Yeah. I had several levels of feelings about it. I am a person who is very familiar with polygamy and, those marriage arrangement type of dynamics, right? Very familiar, not in my own experience, but from being, in a lot of different circles throughout my life, experience of open marriage relationships, as well as having a very, very clear understanding that wealthy people make arrangements. Like their perspective about marriage and relationship is not the same as the average person who has bought the Cinderella story. It is a very most of the time they are very business oriented arrangements, especially if the people involved are high-minded, political-minded. If they are high-profile people, they make, arrangements that are going to further those profiles as well as allow them, a certain look in the public. So I'm not shocked about Will and Jada and August and that whole thing. It's probably a whole bunch of, relationships that those people are having or have had that we don't really know about. And Jada almost, it basically admitted, a couple of years ago, she said, we are not getting a divorce. You're going to be on one side with somebody and I'll be on the other side with somebody. But we are going to stay together and run this firm, this industry known as the Smith family dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way wealthy people think. But we out here, oh, he's mine and she's a hoe and she cheated on him. We like tripping because we done bought the Cinderella story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But they make arrangements that last them the long haul. They do it in politics, entertainment, and big money, old money people. They make arrangements for the firm, the family business, right? So, I mean, on the one hand, okay, I saw that. But on the other hand, I was like, why did she have to say anything? Why? Like, she just let him. But then, she said something. She didn't want him to look like he was lying and maybe he was having a mental health crisis behind the scenes. And she's, they try to rescue him and put their own, head on the block, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? Because he looked a little zany at Angela Yee's table,
Well, I don't know, from just the bits that I've got from it, just putting the story together, little by little, by hearing them talk. I think they were swingers, voluntarily in the beginning, and then because they say this is the stuff that I heard. Jada had a sex addiction.
Mm-hmm.
So she swung without will. Okay, I'm gonna say names. She swung without will. She hooked up with Mark Anthony, Jennifer Lopez ex-husband.
Right.
It was embarrassing to Will Smith.
Oh.
Also, Jada Pinkett out having kids, and when women, have babies, they go through the postpartum depression. They don't feel attractive. Will Smith is, as we saw, because we got to look at the actions. Will Smith, as we saw, always making a movie, always with another woman in the movie. Like he has a love scene in every movie.
Mm-hmm.
Jada's nowhere to be found. Her career is going is not going anywhere. Now you can think two things. Jada wants to be home, or she feels like she can't get the roles that she wants because she's Will's wife. So there's always just this fighting going on. And then Will Smith coming off a divorce. I think his ex-wife divorced him. So then you think about, listen, Will Smith does not want another divorce. Like you said, we are the Smiths. We have so many businesses tied up in our name and our image. We are the Smiths. We are the perfect family.
Right.
So they go and they say, okay, we'll do this open relationship thing. Like I say, Jada Pinkett might have swung without Will, and Will didn't like it. So just like Will Smith said at the table, at the time of her dealing with August, he was done with her. So the Smiths were done with each other. And the only issue that it happened was because Jada was on the table like, hey, you did your dirt too. Well, Will Smith has his friends in check. Jada was the one who actually did something with someone who was unstable and unable to keep that secret. And that's the only issue here. Whatever they agreed upon. Yeah. But my thing also is both of them are actors. And you say, hey, why talk about it on the show? It got the most views, I think, on any Facebook show. So
like 14 million or something.
In 24 hours. So we're a brand, and we'll dictate what happens. Not TMZ, not no other show. You're not going to get us on nobody's couch. We have our own. We have our own table, and we're going to talk about it. And they really didn't say nothing. They didn't really go into details. It was 12 minutes. That show was really like 45 minutes long. I think it was a 12-minute long episode, and it was short and sweet. And it was Will coming to the rescue, in my opinion, because he said I wasn't going to be there. Then he's there, which tells me is Jada said, hey, Will, I need you. Yeah. And then I'm going to deflect some stuff on you because I'm going to tell the world you did dirt too, which has nothing to do with me. Will Smith sits there and just takes it all. There's this young guy making a song about having sex with my wife. I'm embarrassed. But yeah, in this 12-minute, it was 12 minutes. You still took time to tell people that, hey, I wasn't the best husband. Right. So this is just.
Well, I'm saying he said he's going to get her back. And that's when she was like, wait a minute. No, you have gotten me back a lot, So, I mean, I didn't see it as her saying he wasn't the best husband, but I guess that really kind of boils down to what it was because she was saying she hadn't felt good in so long. And his whole face and expression like changed because that really is reflecting on him. I'm sure he was like, well, this is saying something about me as a husband in the marriage, but it's not really new. They have talked about how unhappy Jada was a lot of times, even on that red table, when he came on the show previously, about how unhappy she was in the marriage. And he told her to just go find her way to be happy.
Now you see that? See, I wasn't watching the Red Table Talk, but from what I got from it is they was unhappy. So without me seeing the interviews that you saw, it just follow the breadcrumbs. They'll tell you we weren't happy. So maybe this is why we got into becoming swingers. Maybe this is why we allowed each other to see other people. It's just the only problem is Jada got with August and he just because we don't of course, Will Smith has had other women, but they're not coming out. Right. And it's just only, so that was my only thing. And Will says, I'm going to get you back. I get that. At the same time, because Will being the actor that he is, I don't know if that was his face puffy because he was really upset or they was acting. I don't know. Right. That's the one thing I don't know. Because he knew. No, Will
Right,
didn't give
of
you.
course.
Will didn't give you no blessings. He was done with you, Jada. Jada, do what you want. Do what you
Right.
want. That's not me
Right.
giving you. That's not me giving August blessings. So I don't know if that face was him acting or was it just opening old wounds. I got to sit here
Yeah.
and listen to this. Like I know I heard about it. I don't want to sit here
Yeah.
at this table. It's embarrassing.
Right. Right. He said it's old. He said this is old news to us. You know, we worked through this already. That's exactly what was said during the interview. But for me, you know, like you said, all of us, you know, they are steering their brand
Mm-hmm.
because we are all talking about it and been talking about it, and now there is a new word in the lexicon, entanglement.
Mm-hmm. That's power, right?
Yeah,
That's
that's
power.
attributed to the Smiths
That's
and
power.
that dang old red table.
That's how you
know.
control the narrative. Not only
That's
are we
right.
going to control the story, but we're going to bring a new word to the dictionary, a word that none of you have been using. Now we just, I'm telling you.
And it is the exact right word because when you look up entanglement, it means a complicated or stressful relationship or situation that you can't get out of. Look that ish up.
Mm-hmm.
And then the young brother, I understand his single is called Entanglement.
And it's
what?
a horrible song. It's a horrible song. Because before the song released, he said Will and Jada are family, but yeah, he goes on to sing about how him and Jada was having sex behind Will's back and to hurt Will Smith.
Oh wow!
So once again, we're dealing with a bunch of actors and a guy with an album out. So I don't know if this is all planned because here's the thing, it's old,
right?
But why was Will looking like that? And why would you call Will and Jada family yet make a song about what you did with his wife in 2020 if it's old? Because even if you knew about it, nobody wants to hear that. If you and your wife, or for you and your husband decide to split and whatever happened in your split happened, let that stay where it's at. Now, how would you like it 4 years later, his mistress comes out with a song about what they did? You know, like, and you got it and you're listening to the radio. You don't want to hear that. So I don't, it has to be some form of just entertainment somewhere down the line, because even if it's 4 years old, I don't want to hear that. How you broke.
Well, I would. Mm-hmm.
Oh no, he was talking about how he broke her back. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, Will don't want to hear it either.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's old, but here we are.
Well, I mean, it's like anything that happened in the past that, you know, was a painful episode in your life. You don't want people like when you break up with somebody and then your girlfriend come or your boy come up to you and be like, I saw so and so. Why are you telling me?
Yeah.
Like so?
Oh, I hate that when they tell you who they're talking to now. Listen, I
guess
don't
what?
care.
So and so was talking to them and they was getting ice cream and this was the blow. Why? You just messy. Knock it off. You know? So, but anyway, they are steering their brand. We all drinking the Kool-Aid. But for me, the bigger picture was my reality that I have been up close and personal with, not in my own life, but, you know, having friendships and circles. Wealthy people make arrangements all the time. That's what they do. They steer the franchise that is their relationship because there's more at stake than the, you know, feelings and the emotions of the thing. Hell, the sex is not even at stake. And I'm going to tell you, to be honest, white girls have been doing that ish for millennia. They will marry a wealthy, and people, y'all can text me. I mean, y'all can email me and say Mama Yoga and saying, but this is the dang on Mind, Body, Energy, and Balance podcast. And I say what I want to say on the podcast. Right. White girls have been doing that ish for millennia. They will marry a man for the franchise, for the wealth, for the vitality, for the strength of what it is that they could be together, not just for the sexuality, and they will have affairs. Now, I'm not saying this of all white girls, but Black women, our modality is more, oh, I love him. How does he make me feel? Oh, and I'm just going to ride with him because I love him and I'm feeling and I'm emotion. And he got so much potential.
Right.
White girl be like, yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't really like him. You know, he gets on my nerves from the door, but he going to be a senator. and I'm going to be a senator's wife, and we're going to make this thing work. If I'm lying, I'm flying. I've seen it up close and personal too. And then just have, backroom dynamics, to work out whatever sexuality needs to take place with them. Because it's about the survival. It's a primal energy about, surviving and nesting and living a life that is comfortable and well and extraordinary, for our communities, it's about the relationship. It's not about, the partnership in that way. It's about relating to one another. And that's why, we drinking the Cinderella Kool-Aid harder than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was not on my list to talk about tonight, but we are talking about it because we is looking at the Smiths franchise. Yeah. And the entanglements.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, everybody. Well, look out for the various offerings that we have. The other thing I want to share also, Crystal John, if you're on Instagram, you can follow my beautiful young sister. I'm so blessed. I feel very fortunate to be in company with the next vanguard of the Afrocentric community in Philadelphia. Young sisters and brothers that are into crystals and spirituality and Dr. Sabi and natural medicine and the rest of it, and so Crystal John and I are hosting a book club for Dr. Claude Anderson's book, Powernomics. And if you are not familiar with Dr. Claude Anderson, he is a dynamic elder who has been on, I don't know, maybe 15 political campaigns out of Chicago. He is a kingmaker in terms of helping, politicians get to the level that they need to get to, that they want to get to in their life, in their political life. So he understands the political machine and he understands wealth. And so he's written a few books. And one of them, like I said, is Powernomics. And we're going to hold a book club starting the 27th. And we'll be Instagram living the book and reading from it and following the exercises in the book. So if you want to join the book club, come on to our live 7:30 starting every Monday. We call it Manifest Money Mondays, starting the July 27th. So that will continue on with that. And you can Google Dr. Claude Anderson and buy all his books. He sells them in bundles. He has Powernomics, and he has Black Labor, White Wealth. Talks about how African Americans throughout the world, but especially the Western world, have been cut out of the resources, the financial resources, the land resources, the business resources, and kept, really kept down from being equal and fair players in those games, right? So you want to check out those works from him, right? And so join us if you would like to. Any questions, Flo?
None at all.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's what we're doing. Spirituality and money, Powernomics, avoiding entanglements. And, trying to see where all the opportunities lie. We are pivoting to prosper. That is what we're doing. And that'll be the title of this episode, I guess. All right, my dear. Well, Flaw, do you have any questions or anything you want to share?
Not at all.
All right. So we good, my dear. Thank you so much. Hey, listen, thank you so much for tuning in. You could be listening to anything or doing other things. And I so appreciate you taking the time to listen to the Mind, Body, Energy Imbalance podcast. We talk about everything that affects our mind, our body, and our energy. And so that is, there's no subject off limits because all of it is relevant to us. I want to remind you to be kind, be caring, be loving, and always remember people may forget what you've done. They may forget what you've said, but they will always remember how you make them feel. Have a great day, everybody. Peace and love. The pain. Come on now. We got to forgive ourselves. Forgive yourself. You got so much to give, and that little negative, dark energy of self-conscious that's on your shoulder telling you ain't worth nothing. You don't need to, you just, you're going to lose. You always lose. It's whispering, defeat in your ear. You could just say, hush it. I don't want to hear nothing. I'm going to put a green cloth over on you. Hush it. Get me some acupuncture to balance out this heart energy. I'm going to write it down, get it all out, cry over it, cuss in it, whatever. Just get it out. I'm going to write it down, and then I'm going to set it on fire and release it because I don't want it anymore.
Right.
And then I'm going to hold true to healing my own heart, healing my own energy. That's what we got to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we got to do. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I feel like I want to go write some stuff down right now.
Motivating yourself.
Huh?
I said motivating yourself. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what it is. That's why I do this. I got to stay trying to heal my own stuff. Spirit say, okay, that's good. You doing it or you ain't doing it. So you got to go tell some other people, share it with people, and y'all all heal together.
Right.
Balance out together. Yeah. So that's my show this evening, everybody. It's so glad to be back with you all. I appreciate, you all listening. You could be listening to and watching and doing so many other things. And I'm so appreciative that you take the time to listen to the Mind, Body, Energy, and Balance podcast. Why don't you leave us a review, comment, share your story if you like. If you want to follow me on Instagram under Mama Yoga Wellness, I do a lot of my posting and teaching from my IG account. And I'm on Facebook too, as Samut A. Scott, and Mama Yoga Wellness page. I also have a private group on Facebook, the Mind, Body, Energy, and Balance private group, where I put posts up and teachings up that I don't put on the regular Facebook pages, because it really, to me, is about the community of like-minded. I'm not trying to talk to the whole digisphere.
Right.
I'm trying to talk to those people that the universe sends to listen to the message that's been put on my heart. Like today's message was from the angels, right or wrong. It will free up your spirit. And I don't know who needs to hear that today, but it's out there for you. Just right or wrong and set it free. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's the show today, everybody. Flaw, you got any closing comments or questions?
I don't actually.
All right. Well, that is our show. And thank you so much. And till next time, be kind to one another. Love on one another. Take care of each other. And we'll see you soon. Peace and love.